The following portion of Studio 512 is sponsored by KGB Texas.
Good morning. My name is Dr. Roberto Treviño Peña, and I'm a physician, and I'm trained in internal medicine and critical care medicine. The reason we're here is to show my new book, The Four Forces of Human Nature, a Unifying Theory.
So, Doctor, tell us about your newest book and what is the main message you want to convey to your readers?
So the book, again, the title is The Four Forces of Human Nature, meaning that humans, we have these four forces. And the reason I'm here, I want them to understand that they have these marvelous, important, forces that they can use for their daily lives. And that's kind of what we're trying to explain.
Wonderful. And what is the relationship between the four forces of human nature and the four fundamental forces of nature?
Okay. So first of all, the four forces of human nature are the feeling, the thinking, the talking, and the social environment. So that's the simple term. The more complex term is the affective force, the cognitive force, the communicative force, and the social environment. And these forces have little brain structures where they process each one of these forces. So what I would like to show, the brain is very complex. There's over hundreds of brain structures and nuclei. And so what I want the readers to know is that they just need to understand four brain structures. And and I'll show it here in a little. The amygdala, this one right here, is the one that controls the affective or the feeling. It's a very strong little brain structure. Then the second brain structure is called the thalamus. And the thalamus controls your cognitive force, very important. And then the third force is the communicative, which is the cerebral cortex. Here's where all language is at. And then the last force is the insular cortex, which is right in the middle of the brain. So if people can understand these four brain structures, the amygdala, the thalamus, the cerebral cortex, and the insular, they can control an enormous amount of force and control their lives. So that's kind of what this book is about. Now, what verifies, or the reason it's a unifying theory, is when you really look at the four physical forces, the four fundamental forces. It's the strong force, which controls or keeps the nucleus together. It's the weak force, which is the one that changes one element to another element. And then there's the electromagnetic force, which is all around us, photons and radio waves, and what people are seeing here on TV. And then again, the fourth force is gravity. And the aim of gravity is to cluster, to form, to attract, to keep together. So when you look at these four fundamental forces of physics, and you look at the four fundamental forces of nature, the strong force correlates with the affective force. The role of the affective force is to keep us self-preserved, keep us out of danger. It's the amygdala is the one that's on the lookout to make sure we don't get hurt, and we do all the right things. And then the second force, the weak force that changes one element to another, correlates with a cognitive force, which changes one personality to another personality or one character to another character. Meaning it's the cognitive force that can move an individual living in housing projects to go on to medical school. So the cognitive force is the one that really, it's the lighthouse. It keeps us, looking ahead. And then the third force, electromagnetic, correlates with the communicative force, because the communicative force, it's all about photons. When you're reading a book, it's a photon that bounces from the book to the eye, and radio waves. So it's all related to the electromagnetic and the communicative force. And the fourth one is gravity. In gravity, the role is attraction. So the social environment, we all want to belong. We want to be part of an association. We want to be part of a group, of an ethnic, of a culture. So it kind of clusters together. So when you really look at them, the affective force is the strong force. The cognitive force is the weak force. The communicative force is the electromagnetic, and the fourth is the social environment, which is gravity. So that's how they correlate the human forces and the physics forces.
So tell us about the Bienestar Nima Coordinated School Health Program. How did this children's health curriculum contribute to writing this adult health book?
That's very important. So again, my training is in internal medicine and critical care medicine. Critical care medicine, I was running the intensive care units in San Antonio. And after 25 years of running the intensive care units, I realized that 91% of all the illnesses that I was seeing in the intensive care units were related to lifestyles, behaviors, something that we can control. So that's when I decided to take off my white coat and start working with children as young as 4 years of age. So we developed a coordinated school health program called the Bienestar Nima Coordinated School Health Program. And this curriculum is an approved TA, Coordinated School Health Program. And this curriculum, studies that we have published in the New England Journal of Medicine, the Archives of Pediatrics, has decreased glucose on children, has decreased insulin levels, has decreased obesity, has improved the fitness level of children, and improved the nutrition of children. Children are amazing. I'm an adult disease doctor, and I work with the adults, but man, they are tough to change. But nonetheless, children 4 years of age, not only do they change, they go up to their coaches and tell them, Coach, you shouldn't be drinking that soda. Or they get the cereal boxes from the grocery store and they read them and they told their mom, this has a lot of sugar. And so it was this program where we realized that, we can really modify behaviors. We can really change the life of people and prevent, chronic disease. So that's how this book began, learning that, humans can change and we can modify our lifestyles to prevent disease. So that's how we wrote this book, so that we can make people understand that they have a lot of forces and energies and brain structures that can make them live a healthier life.
Don't miss Dr. Roberto's book signing event for his latest release, The 4 Forces of Human Nature, A Unifying Theory. The event is this Saturday at 4 p.m. at Barnes & Noble, Sunset Valley. See you there. The preceding portion of Studio 512 was sponsored by KGB Texas.